Do you guys remember this HDPE handled ice cream scoop I made a while back? The handle didn't actually last that long. After about 4 times through the dishwasher, it softened and this came loose. I've had this brass scoop in the shop for a while now, and we're going to give it a brand new handle with sprinkles. Couple things that went wrong with the HDPE handle. First off, the handle was too thin, and secondly, trying to put the whole thing through the dishwasher really doesn't work. This is a piece of brass. It's a really good ice cream scoop, so let's give it a fun handle. Put this aside for now. Resin we're going to be using today is Total Boat high performance resin. I'm not entirely sure how much resin we're going to need. I like this pump because I don't have to worry about measurements. Each pump is a metered amount of the right volume of resin and hardener, and all I have to do is pump it up to a volume that I want, and I think we're there now. We're going to add a couple drops of purple pigment. This is actually violet to the resin, and the hope is that this will help to counteract the yellowing over time. Some either blue or purple pigment to it, and only time will tell if that was effective or not. Hit this with a shot of mold release. Come back to, and now we want to add sprinkles, and I'm talking an absurd amount of sprinkles. We want a sprinkle symphony, a cacophony of sprinkles, if you will. Are sprinkles, or nonpareils, if you were a fancy pants baker. There's something preventing me from getting to a sprinkle force field. Oh my gosh. These are going to be everywhere. I'm going to be finding these. Yep, they're already rolling. They're just balls of sugar. There's nothing. They're just delicious little balls of sugar. And they get everywhere. They literally get everywhere. I'm going to have them all over the shop. We're just going to dump it in here. I can already tell that's not enough. So when this settles, I don't want any of the sprinkles to be on the bottom and then clear resin on top. I want sprinkles all the way down. Consuming this would kill you, and it would hurt the entire time you were dying, but it looks delicious. Oh my gosh, tell me that doesn't look delicious. Okay, a little bit more. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's see how much of this we can fit into this mold. We are back. The weirdest cooking show on YouTube is coming back. Alright, let's get this under pressure. We're going to put it at 50 psi, and we're going to let it sit for at least 24 hours. Is packed with sprinkles. That is absolutely beautiful. And so it's kind of neat. You've got this one little tiny line of clear resin where some sprinkles floated to the top and the rest of them settle to the bottom. But other than that, it is just solid sprinkles. I trimmed off the clear portion just so that that part doesn't end up in the final turning. I made a cake plate out of epoxy and sprinkles years ago, but I don't think I machined that in any way. I think it was just a pour. So this will be a first. There's a lot of sugar in the shop. And this also isn't the first time we've ever had sugar in the shop. Okay, so this is going to be the end where the handle connects. And then this side over here will be the bottom. So you hear that? That means we're still out of round. Really close, almost completely round. Still square. So before we go much further, we need to think about how this handle is going to connect to our ice cream scoop. I was going through all my little inserts and I found this one here. And so the outside diameter of this is pretty close to a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole 1 inch deep in the end of our sprinkle handle, and then we should be good. Look at that. That's actually really pretty. So see all those little holes? That's where the sprinkles are. But the sprinkles all fell through. If we were to put this in resin, it would just dissolve. It would just disappear. But it looks really cool in your hand. Okay, so now all we have to do is glue this in here, like that. And so I've got UV resin, which I don't know if I've ever used this before. I'm just gonna put some on the insert. And then you're just supposed to shine a UV light on it. It smells different. Okay, if smell's any indication, I definitely smell something. Yeah, okay, well it's not coming out. Huh, alright, I guess that's good. I feel like I'm missing something important, and I'm not sure what it is. Cool, there it is, done. I mean, basically this is what we're gonna get. Do we even need to go on? Onward. I want to put a ferrule on here, which is basically just a piece of metal that stops the end from getting wear on it. Now, this is one of those things where you have to just keep, unless you use like calipers and stuff, but I don't use calipers because I'm not a grown-up. Alright, some more of that fancy pants. Whoa, I put it away. For heaven's sakes. Put stuff away where you need. Well, I kind of like the hex. I was going to turn that round, but that actually looks kind of cool. I might just have to polish that instead.
So now,
let me get the chuck off, turn this thing around, and get it mounted the other direction. Ridge there so you can hold on while you push into the ice cream. Yeah, that's good. Let's switch over to sandpaper. 150. A couple things I've learned from turning sugar. Don't wet sand, or we're just going to dissolve all of the sprinkles. And that's not the look we're going for with this piece. I'm also going to polish this brass finial. So I'll end the grit by polishing the brass finial so as not to cross-contaminate any brass. Actually, it feels really smooth right now. So now normally after this I'd go on to the polishing step, but again I'm a little worried about exposed candy, so I think we really should seal this up somehow. We'll just use another coat of the high performance resin for the finish. And just make sure that there's no dust on here. It actually looks really good. And I've got a piece of plexiglass down here to protect the bedways. Just mixing up a little bit. I think it's less than an ounce. And you just turn the lathe all the way down to its lowest speed. All we're doing is basically turning this into a little rotisserie here. And that'll give us a nice protective coat on the outside. And do a couple things. First off, it'll protect the candy so that it won't dissolve. And secondly, it'll make it look better as it gives it a nice shine and luster. And this will sit out here for a few hours while it cures. This came out so cool. The HDPE was fun, but this feels like a working handle. And it's so colorful. It's got sprinkles in the handle. I was worried when I first poured it. I knew that sprinkles were white in the center, and I was worried that we were going to basically get a white handle. I didn't realize you'd be able to see a ring of color on the outside like that. And the depth of having all of the colors underneath that. It's super colorful and also really interesting. And look at this ferrule. It's like it was made for it. And I think this is just a compression fitting from my vacuum setup. But it's obviously solid brass and it matches perfectly with the scoop. And now it is removable, which means that this can go in the dishwasher and this can stay on the counter. And of course, thank you to TotalBoat for sponsoring this video. Their high performance resin kicked butt once again. And the first time for me using UV resin, and it worked great. And then we ended up using resin as a finish. It's strong, it's gonna protect that sugar from any moisture. Get a discount on TotalBoat and support my channel by using the link down below in the description. And this handle should last a very long time. And it just feels solid, you know, because sometimes you need to get in there and just grrr. And you don't want a weak-handled ice cream scoop. You want strong sprinkles.